Bulletin on Africa, brought to you by Construction Review, Africa's leading construction journal. In this week's news, Obama's $16 billion challenge to China's influence in Africa, Kenyans to build $93 million ultra-modern tourism university, Chinese firm bids for Zambia's $53 million Mongu Stadium, Nigeria's Dangote Cement to venture into Kenya, Murray and Roberts appointed primary contractor of $200 million Bay West Mall, and finally, Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea to build $2 million bridge. Welcome, I'm Yvonne Ndiba. We begin this week's bulletin in Tanzania, where U.S. President Barack Obama concluded his African tour by visiting the Ubungo Symbian Power Plant in Dar es Salaam, where he highlighted a new initiative, Power Africa, which he unveiled earlier in South Africa and aims to double the number of people across the continent that have access to power. President Obama said the United States is committing $7 billion in support of the initiative, with private sector companies having committed more than $9 billion. Nearly 70% of Africans lack access to electricity, and the president said the project is a win-win, as African families will get electricity in their homes and businesses can run their plants. United States initiatives come even as the Chinese companies are already at the forefront, leading major construction of buildings and infrastructure in Africa, among its many projects being the 6,000 megawatt Ethiopia Grand Renaissance Dam, which will be the largest hydroelectric power plant in Africa once completed. Over to Kenya, where a multi-billion shilling construction of the country's first fully-fledged university offering degrees in purely hospitality is due to commence at the Kenyan coast. The $93 million ultra-modern tourism university is known as Ronald Gala Utalii College, will be set up at Vipingo in Kilifi County on a 60 acres of land belonging to the Ministry of Tourism. Tourism Fund CEO Alan Chinane, who is overseeing the design work, says the community around the institution will also be advised to put up hostels for those who will want to live outside the college. Chinane says the facility will also have a modern stadium not only for students but also for the community. And in Zambia, a Chinese firm, Shanghai Construction Group, has submitted its bid for the construction of the 20,000-seater proposed Mongu Stadium in Zambia's West Province. Shanghai is a Chinese firm currently constructing the 60,000-seater Lusaka Stadium, which is scheduled for the completion this October. Speaking in Lusaka, Shanghai marketing manager Oscar Bell said his company was confident of winning the bid. Bell said Shanghai had worked on some projects before and had a good track record on which it could be judged. Recently, the Zambia Public Procurement Agency, ZPPA, tasked the Ministry of Works and Supply to submit a report of the review of procurement proceedings on the stadium tender following the appeal by local consultants. And in Nigeria-based Dangote Cement is planning to enter the Kenyan market. The company wants to buy a cement firm in Kenya and has already sent emissaries to look at Mombasa Cement and the National Cement Company owned by Devki Group. This comes barely a month after the firm began building a cement plant at Mtwara in southern Tanzania, which is expected to increase Tanzanian cement capacity by 1.5 million tons by the second quarter of 2015. Going by Dangote Cement's financial muscle and aggressiveness, an unprecedented battle could be in the offing. The firm's entry into the Kenyan market is likely to shake up the market, especially since the country's production capacity has been running ahead of consumption for over a decade, with the excess supply sold in regional markets. And over to South Africa, co-developers of the super-regional Bay West Mall, Abacus Asset Management and Billion Group have appointed construction industry giants Murray and Roberts as the primary contractor on the $200 million project set for opening in early 2015. The company took to the site in Port Elizabeth's western suburbs, adjacent to the N2, recently under the eye of Alex Boyazoglu, MD of Murray and Roberts building. The construction of the mall will create about 10,000 jobs during the construction phase, 3,000 through direct employment and more than 7,000 indirect and induced jobs. A further 1,500 permanent jobs will be created to staff 250 retail outlets in the 90,000 meter square shopping center, which will be similar in size to Cape Town's Canal Walk shopping center, also built by Murray and Roberts. And over to Cameroon. Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea have reached an agreement to construct a bridge on River Ntem on the 159-kilometer transnational Kribi-Kampo-Bata road. Cameroon's Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Emmanuel Njumeisi, and Equatorial Guinea's Minister of State in charge of regional integration penned the Memorandum of Understanding in the conference hall of Minepart. The Memorandum of Understanding is to carry out studies in view of financing the project. The two countries need to raise their counterpart funding to meet up with the $2 million gift promised in 2012 by the African Development Bank. How much each state is expected to contribute will only be known after the studies have been carried out. Thank you for choosing to watch Construction Review News. For more news, the digital version of our print edition, a directory, and much more on the construction industry in Africa, please visit www.constructionreviewonline.com. Until next week, I'm Yvonne Andina.